Broadcast Amsterdam, your local radio station, 24/7 and on demand. Or on broadcastamsterdam.nl.
Hello, Amsterdam. We just heard The Plan by Travis Scott. I can actually enjoy this song now.
Rather than it being a deafening
blasting in the cinema. This, of course, is the theme from Tenet, the new movie from Christopher Nolan, which we saw last week, right?
Yeah, coincidentally at the same place, but just separate times.
Yeah,
on the same day.
As I was walking out, I saw your girlfriend standing in the ticket line. Yay! Anyway, welcome people to the Amsterdam Film Show. I'm Kikomura. This is, of course, Elliot Bloom. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good. It's good to be back.
If this is your first time with us, we share new cinema releases in the Netherlands, review some of them, and talk about the special film events in the city of Amsterdam, all in English. We started the show with the song from Tenet, so we're going to start the show by reviewing Tenet.
Where to begin?
Okay, dude, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, so I think you said Christopher Nolan claimed he was going to save cinema.
I think I read it somewhere that he said like, yo, this movie's going to save cinema.
Because in my Letterboxd review, I said I agree that this film probably will save cinema, but it will probably also be remembered as one of his weakest films.
Yeah. I totally agree. I remember being like flabbergasted by the screen, like while we were watching, and me and my wife were like, our jaws were on the floor the entire time because it is visually just striking.
I mean, it's a real experience to watch, and that's what cinema should be. And the action sequences are insane. I mean, we also got to see the how it was made, which shows that there's no CGI involved, which is pure credit to the craft of Christopher Nolan, his eagerness to be as pure and realistic as possible with what he films,
which is highly admirable.
Yes, but
yes, exactly.
If you pick the story apart and sort of analyze what it really is, it's a very cliched story
and deeply flawed.
Yeah, of an American hero fighting to save the world against an evil Russian man. So for some reason has fallen in love with with the Russian man's blonde wife. I don't know how he's fallen in love after.
I don't think they're even in love.
But there's like a deep tie to her, which complicates the narrative for no reason whatsoever. Like, he would be able to do his job so much better if she wasn't involved, and there's no real explanation for why he's so tied to her or so obligated to her. But then my sort of reasoning for it is perhaps John David Washington, who plays the protagonist.
Wait, should we do a spoiler alert, or are you going to go spoiler free?
I'm going to try to go spoiler free.
Okay.
But I feel like the reason why he's so tied to the woman, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Kat, maybe?
In the movie.
Kat.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Catherine or Rachel or some
But
American
I feel,
name.
because at the start, there's that sequence of him trying to defuse all the bombs that are in the opera house, trying to save all these people.
Yeah.
And there's the line where it's like, that's not part of your mission. And he's like, well, it is now. And my understanding maybe is that he values the individual life as well as the collective lives.
Yeah, he just tries to save everyone.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think the concept is crazy and it's great, but the way it was executed probably...
Yeah, because you're right. Like, he's a protagonist, but he's kind of like an all-American hero.
Yeah. That
I think it would be more interesting to see a protagonist or a hero that is willing to make that sacrifice and for the greater good.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a more layered hero, a flawed hero. But here we only find, like you said, cliche characters with like no arc.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. Characters that are completely like, why are they there?
Yeah. And the one thing that really I can get to grips with was how Robert Pattinson, who played, I think his name's Neil in the thing.
Yeah.
How him and the protagonist, right at the end, that's when they first meet for Robert Pattinson, but when they last meet for the protagonist, and then
that is good. That is good. It's kind of like Doctor Who. It really reminded me of this storyline of Doctor Who and River Song.
But yeah, I don't know. I just felt Nolan almost sold out in a way with the script, because whenever you go to watch a Nolan film, he presents you with all these ideas, and you're made to really question both time, reality, consciousness, and all that. Whereas with this, it was more you could just sit and watch, and you could follow everything with ease. You didn't really need to pick anything apart. And of course, it's very enjoyable to watch these action sequences. but then you sort of just want a bit more from Nolan because he has set the bar so high for himself.
Especially after Interstellar, which I thought that it was a double-edged sword. That one, I thought it was the characters were fantastic. Like the storyline was fantastic and visually it was beautiful.
Yeah.
So I think for me that's his masterpiece. And Tenet, I do think is like his weakest film since maybe The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I remember being like blown away by it because, holy crap! I do recommend people to go see this, and I do recommend
100%.
people to go see it to the cinema in the biggest screen that you can.
Preferably the eye, because but maybe bring some earbuds.
Oh my god!
The sound system is insane, almost deafening at times.
I am not one to cover my ears or even wear earbuds, but. There's one scene in an airport where I definitely covered my ears because it was too much. Yeah. And I've been in that cinema many times, and it's never been like that.
I think that's the loudest any film I've been in.
I think so too. It was just way too loud.
Yeah. Which is deliberate, of course, but still.
Oh yeah, no. I know that this is a conscious choice by Nolan. But yeah, so our
I don't know. And sorry, my other issue is. I also said in my Letterboxd review, there's sort of a growing trend with Nolan. He can't seem to write great female protagonists, or the character arc of female protagonists is never strong. They're very one-dimensional and serve the purpose of the narrative rather than
she's just a mother. You know, like there's no depth to her.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that she is just a mom.
Yeah, and she's we can't we can't give the spoiler, but there's one instant at the end where it's. I don't know, it portrays her as very almost selfish or naive in a way.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a really weak character. I don't understand why John David Washington risks everything in order to you know. Yeah. It's not consistent with the character. I think the female lead should have been a lot stronger. Yeah. Her character was interesting enough to give her a better arc.
Yeah.
And I forgot the name of the actress, but she's fantastic. She did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, all the actors were great.
Yeah.
I think credit has to go to John David Washington as well. And
he's a beast, man.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
The fact he does his own stunts, and the stunts are designed to go. They're doing their stunts backwards. In reality, there's no camera trick or anything. It's that they've learned these sequences, which is remarkable because to me it just feels like you're watching it in rewind.
I don't know if they're doing this in other cinemas, but when we went to see Peninsula,
which is a whole different story.
Which is we'll get to that in a minute. But instead of showing us trailers, they put us like a 10-minute behind the scenes from Tenet. Yeah. And it was super interesting. It was really interesting to see how these things that you just assume that they're CGI, they're not. Yeah. They're physical. Even things from like the reverse dropping of stuff or the fight scenes that look in reverse, but they were choreographed in order for them to look like that. They're not shot and then reversed.
Yeah, even the plane crashes as real as you can get.
Yeah, I mean, they actually in a real airport they crashed a gigantic 7. I mean, come on, man.
You know the producer is his wife.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They've known. I was reading up on Nolan, and they've known each other. They met at university. And since then, she's always been producing his films.
Well, yeah, I think you have to love the man in order to produce those crazy stories, man. Yeah. Because Elizabeth Debicki is the name of the female lead. Okay. She plays Kat, and we wish she had a better arc. Yeah. Like, but it has a stellar cast. It has her, Robert Pattinson, or Battinson, because he's going to be Batman now. Yeah. John David Washington, who was in BlacKkKlansman, the son of Denzel. Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's the military guy with the beard. He's Kick-Ass. Did you see that movie? Yeah, he was Kick-Ass. And
Kenneth Branagh.
He's the Russian. He's the Russian, evil Russian. Really good. And a small cameo from Michael Caine.
Of course, which felt a bit unnecessary.
Super unnecessary, but if you have the chance to have Michael Caine in your movie, you're just gonna write a scene for you.
Well, I mean, it's like how Samuel L. Jackson stars in a lot of Tarantino films. It's similar to Michael Caine.
But usually Samuel L. Jackson does have something to do with the plot.
Yeah.
Like here,
I mean, this is also the first time Michael Caine doesn't have much of a. He had a big role in Interstellar. he didn't have that big a role in Inception, did he? But he still featured.
I think he was in it. I don't remember. I haven't seen that movie since it came in the cinema. So yeah, I've only seen it once. But it's funny, because he's just sitting on a table, spitting out exposition. Yeah, that's his role in the movie. Okay, so Tenet, it's fun to watch. It's impressive to watch. It's worth the while, but don't expect too much.
It will save cinema in the fact that it's a blockbuster big enough to bring people back to the seats.
Oh man, yeah, definitely.
And I mean, I guess because it's one of his weaker films, in some ways it will attract a larger crowd, because those that are used to those blockbusters or Marvel films, they'll be happy just to go and watch this awesome action film.
Well, yeah, the action sequences are just unbelievable, unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, but the question next is, where does cinema go from here? Which I guess we can discuss.
Yeah, because what do we have from here, man? Like actual new releases. Yeah. What do we got? Because right now it's pretty much the only movie that cinemas have. Even the Outgeik is playing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the Outgeik, but don't go see it there.
Yeah, no.
Go see it to a Pathé.
Pathé.
I don't usually endorse Pathé, but go see it at Bijlmer and IMAX or at 70mm at the Eye. Definitely, that's how it's worth to be seen.
It was made on IMAX, so it is designed to be watched.
Yeah. You're seeing the behind the scenes, the gigantic cameras. It's a Dutch cinematographer, actually.
Oh yeah.
And he's done many movies with him, and he's this massive guy. That you have to be massive to use that camera as a handheld. It's insane.
Yeah, from the behind the scenes, they just had someone there ready to take the camera off him whenever they called cut.
So, where do we go from here? What's coming next? I don't know, man. Will Tenet save cinema? I think it's gonna stay in theaters for
a long time.
It
was Hoyt van Hoytema.
Hoyt van Hoytman,
but yeah, it will stay in a long. I mean, supposedly you have the new James Bond coming out in November. Whether they cancelled their release because and they keep delaying it because of COVID, obviously.
Yeah.
So whether they're confident enough to release it in November, we'll see.
I know that in December we're getting Dune.
Okay.
From Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Which is, I'm reading the book right now, actually, and it's fantastic. So I'm really looking forward for the movie. Anyway, and speaking of new releases, this is a movie that was going to premiere this November, I think, but then production got stopped. Or no, it was gonna premiere next year, I think.
Okay.
But the whole thing was delayed because of Corona.
Yeah.
We did get, however, a sick trailer, and since we're talking about Robert Pattinson. This is the song on the trailer for The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves. I'll mention it in a minute. It kind of looks like a David Fincher movie. Remember Seven?
Yeah.
It really looks like Seven, but it's a film noir detective story.
Yeah,
with Batman, and I'm really happy because I feel like we haven't seen this kind of Batman in the movies, not even with Christopher Nolan, because Batman's supposed to be the greatest detective in the world.
Yeah.
Right? He's supposed to be a detective. And I don't believe that in the Dark Knight trilogy we saw Batman. We saw The Dark Knight, which is the storyline by Frank Miller, which is a completely separate comic book. But this feels more like the greatest detective in the world, and it's the story. This is the youngest Batman we've had on screen.
Okay,
which means that he's been Batman for 1 or 2 years only.
Okay,
so he's still learning. So in the trailer, you can see him like beating someone to a pulp.
Yeah,
because he still has all this rage, and his ethics are not balanced.
Yeah, there's that short sequence in the trailer where all the Jokers or people imitating the Joker. And he just beats the shit out of someone.
I mean, watch the trailer. I have seen it so many times. I cannot get it out of my head. Also, because of the song. This is Something in the Way by Nirvana, by the way.
Yeah, it really sets the tone for what the film probably is going to be. But I've always thought Batman's been untouchable since Christopher Nolan. But now I think they've reinterpreted it in a way that differentiates from the Dark Knight and the sort of DC universe.
Yeah, for sure.
And it looks exciting. And I think they've done really well to get Robert Pattinson on board, because he's someone who's managed to revive his career ages ago, but ever since then he's in his flow. He's really in his stride. Yeah. He's really hitting his stride. All his films he's making are great films or really exciting projects.
Yeah, ever since what is it, Cosmopolis, then Good Time,
yeah.
The Lost City of Z, he has a supporting role there, but he's fantastic. The Lighthouse, which is a masterpiece. Yeah. Like, this guy knew how to get rid of that image of the glowy vampire from Twilight. And
High Life as well by Claire Denis.
High Life, that was a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
So he knows
and The King.
how to choose stuff.
Yeah.
He really knows how to choose his projects. So I think that he's gonna make a great Batman. He has definitely the jawline for it.
Yeah, he does.
And that's something that we're looking forward to 2021 once this shit of a year ends. But anyway, back to...
Have we discussed Mulan?
Oh, no, we haven't, but shall we?
Briefly. Well, just because we're sort of trying to discuss what's there to come.
Yeah, well,
cinema.
That's true.
And yet Mulan has now been moved. Is it out now yet on
No,
Disney Plus?
I think it's going to be in a few days.
Okay.
It is a September release, but it's going to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But if you have your account of Disney Plus, great. You can watch Mulan if you pay $30 extra.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And it's a one-time payment, but it's like...
Yeah.
Are you kidding me, man? Like, no.
No one even pays that to go to the cinema.
Of course not. Of course not. But I don't know, man. My issue number one is, so far I haven't seen one live action Disney remake. Then I'm like, okay, now I understand why you're doing this.
Yeah.
They've all been shit, and I haven't seen all of them.
Yeah.
But I did see Aladdin, which is my favorite Disney movie.
Yeah.
And then I saw it butchered by Guy Ritchie, of all people.
Yeah.
Then The Lion King, which I thought was extremely boring.
Yeah.
It looked beautiful, and Jon Favreau did a great job.
Have you seen Jungle Book? That was the only one that was sort of okay.
Jungle Book I saw. It was also Jon Favreau.
Okay.
Yeah, and
that was sort of okay.
Yeah, that one was okay.
But I mean, obviously, it's all just a big money grab.
Exactly. My wife saw Dumbo. She said that it was shit. Then on Disney Plus, there's a Lady and the Tramp. It's also a remake.
But I don't get the live action thing, because the beauty of these Disney films is because they're cartoon and they're sort of the fantasy world. And the moment you bring it into the real life aspect or add reality to it, you sort of realize this isn't possible, or it really limits your capacity to imagine or dream with it.
Like, what's gonna happen with all the songs that we love, man? Like, by making it serious, and I'm talking about a movie like Mulan. What's gonna happen with Mushu, or what's gonna happen with like? Hold on. I'm looking for it. What's the song that the guy, like, let's get down to business
to defeat the hunt? Is it I'll Make a Man Out of You?
I think it's this one.
This is what you give me to
No. This is. But I mean, these kinds of things, like, this is why I love Mulan, and I love Mulan because I saw it very recently, and
for the first time.
No.
Oh, yeah.
But I have Disney Plus. And I woke up one day and my wife was starting to watch Mulan, and I was like, hell yeah. And I sat down and we were so enjoying it, and then singing and everything. So I don't know, like, turning it into kind of like a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon tone, like, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me, and I'm not going to pay $30 for that. No. That's my rant.
Maybe let's move on to something a bit more positive.
Well, yeah. One last note on that, because I read yesterday on IndieWire that promotion of $30 is just going to last until December, and starting December you can just watch it for free on Disney Plus.
What?
Yeah, so I don't understand who is not going to wait 3 months to watch a Disney remake.
That marketing campaign is awful.
It's awful, man. Like, I mean, I respect that the whole crew, the whole cast is Chinese. I think the director is a Chinese woman too, or Chinese American. So why putting it in this horrible void? Like, just release it for free for everyone from the get-go.
Yeah.
And make it like a better thing. Like, because this year is shit. Here you have this free movie that you were supposed to pay for, but since the world is shit, it's for free.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We have plenty of things to watch this month. If you really want to go back to the cinemas, I really recommend Lab 111. I really recommend DI. These are cinemas that are taking care of people. They're clean. They are. I like how the system works.
Yeah.
In the sense of the safe distance. So if you want to get out of your house, you want to watch a nice film, these are the new releases that are not new, but they are great.
Well, I mean, the programming of Lab is just unbelievable.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that one, but I want to start with Dirty Dancing. Is going to show at DI.
Yeah.
And Her, the Spike Jonze
that's
movie.
A great film as well.
And you mentioned something about earlier off the air about Dirty Dancing.
So they're also doing a rooftop screening at Canvas, which is Volks Hotel.
Oh, cool.
So next week they're doing 5 screenings. One's Call Me By Your Name, great film. Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee, of course.
Oh, man, still didn't see it.
Lucia y El Sexo.
Lucia y El Sexo, yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And Dirty Dancing. So I think there's going to be quite a few rooftop screenings dotted around Amsterdam, because there's also at the Hermitage this week, but I think tickets are all sold out.
Oh yeah, Notting Hill is playing. Yeah.
But I think there's a few exciting things to come in terms of rooftop or open air screenings. I know. Have you ever done Jeffrey's Cinema? No.
We've talked about it on this show, and I'm still on the mailing list, but I've never been.
I went Tuesday actually to see Le Samurai by Jean-Pierre Melville.
Oh, cool.
Which was amazing. But he's also doing an open air screening as well sometime in the next couple of weeks. So try and make the use of the last bit of the good weather, even though I came here drenched in the rain. Well, if
it's like today, like, looking out the window right now, it's... Yeah. Well, yeah, you did come and we had to give you a towel.
Yeah. Not the best. Oh, and the other thing at the Eye, they're doing a sort of special program on sound and pop. Yeah, and pop music used in film. So there's films with that David Bowie starred in, Tupac Shakur, Bjork, is that how you say her name? Yeah. Oh, Dancer in the Dark? Is that it? Yeah, I think so. It's a beautiful film by Lars von Trier. Yes, Lars von Trier. Such a dick, but what a great movie. Yeah. So they're doing one part this coming month with some talks as well. So I'd recommend definitely going down. So you guys, plenty of things to watch during September. Like, go to your cinemas. Your cinemas need your support right now. Yeah. Go see Dirty Dancing. With Cineville. It's so easy with Cineville. It's still really worth to get your membership because you get Cineville plus Cineville Vitamin Cineville, which is the home streaming service from Cineville. So I mean, call your crush, your wife, your girlfriend, go see Dirty Dancing. That's a perfect date movie. And have dinner at the Eye. Look at the exposition that they have. Like, the Eye is one of those beautiful gems in Amsterdam, just across the river from Central Station. We have a small cinema in the pipe called Rialto. Yes. And these guys, one of my favorite cinemas in the city as well, they're bringing the horror classics from the 1950s. Yes, we're going to see The Creature from the Blue Lagoon. Am I right? Black Lagoon. Yeah, so we're going to go see that. And they have that. They have House of Wax. And they have some, like a lot of other classics. Not the House of Wax, the one with Paris Hilton. Okay. House of Wax from 1953, I think. Yeah, and I think Vincent Price is in it. Oh, would it? Yeah. So definitely, if you're a horror fan, or if you've heard about Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Werewolf, Frankenstein, White Zombie, all these old black and white horror movies, and you've always been curious about them, then join us for Creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't remember when we're going, but we're going soon. Yeah, and the other thing they're doing at Rialto is sort of an introspection on African cinema or they're showing 4 films that I'm not sure they're different periods of when they were made, but the one I have watched is The Wound, which I really recommend. It's a queer African film, and it's about this tribal ritual that boys get sent to go do, and I can't remember where it's based, which African country, but they go away for like 2 weeks and they go through a series of challenges and tests to become a man. But it's also, that's a space where these 2 older men who are the teachers, it's their space to love each other, and that's where they met. And then there's also one of the boys who's gay and trying to sort of battle that while being forced or having all these stereotypes or expectations forced upon him, and him trying to come out to the people around him, or him not afraid to express who
That
he
sounds
is.
brilliant.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. So
all right, man.
I really recommend.
We're going to the movies together almost once a week now.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go check
down.
that out. Right now, and now we're moving on to, I think we can safely say it's now our favorite theater in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
We're not playing favorites, but yes, we are. Lab 100 Elf is doing The Fall by Tarsem Singh, Spirited Away, and other Studio Ghibli films. The Breakfast Club.
Oh, there's so many.
They have even Wizard of Oz from 1939.
They got
first film to be in color.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a piece of trivia.
Of
so
course.
if you want to see that's why the colors are so bright and so beautiful. Like it was the first time that people saw color on a screen.
Yeah, there's also Todo Sobre Mi Madre by Pedro Almodovar.
Yeah.
The Seventh Seal by Ingmar Bergman. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. There's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Incredible film. And Sorry to Bother You again.
Oh, guys, you really have to go see that. It's Boots Riley, right? Is the director.
Yeah.
Such a great movie.
And then the other ones is Le Mépris by Jean-Luc Godard. An incredible film. Le Bonheur by Agnes Varda, and also Cleo, also by Agnes Varda. La Dolce Vita. I mean, it's insane that the
Lab 100 of is always killing it.
Yeah.
Are these from the lab suggestions?
I think some of them are, and through the grapevine I've heard that we're going to see Brazil by Terry Gilliam, and that is courtesy of you, Kiko.
Yeah. We are this Saturday, this Friday, we're going to go see on the 4th of September, Brazil by Terry Gilliam, which is one of my favorite movies, and Richard Raphorst.
Yeah.
He was the guest on the last episode of our Damn Director's Cut.
Yeah.
And if you listen to that episode, you heard us praising the film.
But you also heard how you, every time for lab suggestions, always recommend an introspection on Terry Gilliam.
Every single time.
I think this is it. I think...
They finally listened to me?
Yeah, I spoke to one of them and they said, someone keeps asking for it. And I would have loved to have done an introspection, but right now I think I can only give them one of them, and they've chosen Brazil. So
Which is my favorite one, so it's perfect.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And Lab are also doing a Camera Japan festival, so films from Japan that have come out this year.
We'll be fine, man. We don't need blockbusters. Not this year. Next year, yeah.
Yeah.
But 2020 is still, it's the year of rediscovery.
Yes. And like we said, chance to rewatch films that you may have missed, or
exactly
ones that have gone unnoticed.
So, guys, we're going to go for some break. We will keep talking about this. Just do that. Like, call your wife, call your boyfriend, call your girlfriend, call your mom even. Like, tell her, okay.
And we'll put links to all of this.
Yeah. Let's put links, lady. Let's go to the cinema. And, let's just check out.
Let's just dance.
Yeah. Dance some dirt.
Broadcast Amsterdam, your local radio station, 24/7 and on demand. Or on broadcastamsterdam.nl.
Sorry, guys, I had to cut that one short because it's a little long, but such a good movie, man. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, dude, you should take Alex.
Yeah, and I think might have to.
It is such a date movie. It is definitely what they call chick flicks. Although, it's just a nice romantic.
Okay, that's on my list.
Film. Anyway, so we discussed all the content that we have in the future. What's the content that we've been seeing since we were speaking of Lab 100 Elf and their millions and millions of classics? Well, dozens maybe. They have right now going, and it's extending still this September. A Cronenberg retrospective.
Yeah, Crash Course on Cronenberg.
Crash Course on Cronenberg. So David Cronenberg.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Well, you tell me, because I've only seen 2 of his films, courtesy of Lab. So,
okay, well,
from what I understand, he's a great 80s, 90s director on body horror.
Yeah, he's really good at body horror, man. So David Cronenberg, he's a Canadian director. Some of his, you've definitely seen The Fly, or most people have seen The Fly. Yeah. This great body horror movie with Jeff Goldblum from 1986. So this guy kind of like started going around that zone, that part of the spectrum for a while. So, and then he created classics like Videodrome, Existenz, The Fly, Scanners, and Rabid. He has a really cool zombie film called Rabid. Scanners is about people with telekinesis that explode each other's heads. Videodrome is about this piece of VHS tape that kind of like opens a new area of your brain. It's so good. The Fly, about this crazy scientist who develops these 2 pods to teleport, and then he has a mishap with a fly that gets in at the same time as he does. So he slowly starts to become a fly himself. You have to see that. It's so good. Crash, which is a group of people that get basically turned on about car crashes and death.
Film, but it's good, but almost a bit of a soft porn in some
No.
A lot of it was unnecessary, I found, but it's really good. It's really interesting. The one I did really like is the one we saw, Dead Ringers.
Yeah, we went to see Dead Ringers together. Dead Ringers is from 1988, which is the year that I was born. Great vintage. It's about a set of twin gynecologists that take full advantage of the fact that nobody can tell them apart until their relationship begins to deteriorate over a woman.
Yes.
That is from IMDb. The twins are brilliantly played by Jeremy Irons.
Yes.
I don't know. Tell me what you think about this movie, man. This is one of the only Cronenberg films that I had never seen. And we got to see it in Lab 111.
Did you say it didn't do as well as the others? Or which one diverged from his main trend of films? This or Crash? You said one of them.
I think Crash diverges more. I think this is definitely... It still has some of the body horror. Remember? Like the dream scene when the twins are still connected. And...
What did I think? It was very clever. I don't know. It's very dark and unsettling, but at the same time, it's almost exciting or thrilling to see this happen because I don't know. What's his name? Jeffrey Irons or Jeremy Irons? Jeremy. He does such a great portrayal of 2 very different characters. And still manages a strong relationship between them. And the idea, I don't know, there's also something almost not incestuous, but there's a weird bond that goes deeper than
that is kind of wrong, you know?
Because like there's that moment where they're sort of hugging whilst there's a woman in between them, and it's like they're wanting to have an almost sexual interaction with each other, but using a woman as a means for it in the
middle between in between them. It's definitely weird. It definitely touches some
and the tools the mutant tools. Crazy.
Yeah, well, one of the twins are called Beverly and Elliot.
Yeah.
One of the twins designs the Ellie and Bev. He designs these gynecology tools, especially for mutant vaginas.
Yeah, or androgynous.
Or I don't know, super weird, man. But such a great, it's a magnificent film with 2 great performances by one same actor.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And then Genevieve Bujold, which plays the love interest of them both. Also amazing. And I was thinking, like, where did I see this person before? And I think she's in Requiem for a Dream.
Okay.
I think she's the woman who becomes like with the pills.
Okay.
Addicted with pills and dreams that her fridge is gonna kill her or something.
Okay.
But I'm not sure, so I have to check that.
But no, with Dead Ringers, because you've always given me the impression that Cronenberg is great for his body horrors.
Yeah.
But that almost felt like a secondary aspect of it, and it was more the psychological aspect.
Yeah.
And
well,
the fall of one doctor who these two doctors have always strayed away, or they've never taken any drugs, and then one is slowly tempted into it, and sort of the deterioration of his mind as a result, and then how Elliot feels obligated to fit, because their whole thing is they need to experience the same thing as each other in order to share that deeper connection than everybody else, which is why they share their women, so they know what it's like to sleep with each other, with these kinds of women, and they know what they're talking about. And then that's why Elliot deteriorates himself in order to understand why his brother's collapsed or fallen down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's crazy how, like, in order to rescue his addicted twin, he has to become an addict himself.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense normally, but within this context, you completely understand it. I think Cronenberg does a great way of, you almost empathize with these two twins.
Oh, definitely.
And it's really strange because they're also quite deluded, fucked up people, because they they pretend to be each other when sleeping with women in order for them to sleep with the same women. And
they like to share everything until they don't. You know. And it's funny you should say that, because it is kind of like a constant in Cronenberg films that the main character is tormented. Very tormented. So and Dead Ringers kind of like marked the end of Cronenberg's body horror craze. Like he was already getting out of it.
Really?
It kind of started with Scanners, Videodrome, The Fly.
Yeah.
That was like the trilogy of body horror, and then he kind of like stopped it for a bit. He did Naked Lunch, Crash, would you see? And then he went back to it with Existence.
So you wouldn't consider Crash body horror at all?
Not necessarily, or at least not in the same way
or
that Videodrome and The Fly.
Okay, is it more a fetishization of the body than in Crash?
Yeah, I would consider it more like that, because with the body horror, I used to call it like biomechanical horror.
Okay, that's probably better.
Yeah, because it's a combination of biological elements and mechanic elements like fused together.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what his horror was about. And I think that Crash is more, like you say, a fetish. How do you say it?
Fetishization
of yeah. You correct me in English, and I'll just like help you with your Spanish. So yeah, well, there's still a few more of his movies at Lav 111. I know that Maps to the Stars, which is one of his most recent one actually, which is already 6 years old. Is there. Eastern Promises, which is another gem from him. Yeah, Existence is a really fun movie about it's kind of in a way, it's kind of Inception before Inception was Inception.
Yeah.
So it's about a video game that is played in the collective mind, and you don't know when you're out of the game or you're still in the game.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole point of the movie. It's such a weird film. I love it.
The film I have also watched recently, while we're on that subject, is Cook the Thief, His Wife and Her Lover. Have you seen that?
Oh, it really rings a bell.
Oh, it's by Peter Greenaway, and it's an awesome, awesome film. It's got Tim Roth right at the beginning of his career, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Helen Mirren, who else is in it? It's the guy that plays Dumbledore in Harry Potter, Michael Gambon.
Oh, yeah. But the old Dumbledore, the one who died, right?
Yeah. Alan Howard. The cast is insane. So the costume design is by Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Oh, I've heard about this movie.
Yeah.
Is it the one that is kind of like shot as if it was a play?
Yes. It's all centered around this restaurant owned by the thief and the cook. And then you see... it's basically about his wife having an affair with another diner at the restaurant, but it's only based within the restaurant, apart from near the end where they sort of run off together. But it's incredible. So every time they move rooms, their costumes stay the same, but the color of it changes depending on which room they're in. Yeah, it's a really, really fun film.
All right.
And so I definitely recommend that.
I'm a fan of Peter Greenaway. He made a movie in Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Eisenstein in Guanajuato. And I'm just taking a look at his IMDb. He also made a movie called Night Watching. That it's
Last Tango in Paris, of course.
it's about the Rembrandt painting of the Night Watch, and it might be set here in the Netherlands. So that is interesting. And he has Martin Freeman playing Rembrandt.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's really interesting. I've never heard about this movie. So given that we're in the city where the painting is, have you gone to see it?
Yeah.
It's magnificent.
Yeah, annoyingly, the times I've seen it is still doing the restoration part, so you can't really see it in its full glory. But it's still amazing. Yeah.
Oh well, I haven't been to the Rijks in about 2 years.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, this was shown at the Outkijk, and I think there's still a couple screenings there.
The Outkijk is also a film with it's a cinema with one zaal, one room that but they always show like really nice stuff. I went to see Eyes Wide Shut one day there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was beautiful. So what else do we got?
I was trying to think, what else have you seen recently?
Well, we went to see Peninsula together.
Yes, which is the sequel to Train to
Busan.
Yeah, Train to Busan, which I watched the day before. And Train to Busan is a great, fun zombie film. Better than a lot of zombie films you probably watch or I've seen.
Definitely. It was in a time where zombie films were kind of like done.
Yeah.
You know, like The Walking Dead was already overstaying their welcome.
Yeah. It's a South Korean film.
Yeah, South Korea just comes with a zombie movie in a train.
Yeah.
Called Train to Busan, and it's really simple. Like, while a zombie virus breaks out in South Korea, passengers struggle to survive on a train from Seoul to Busan. That's it.
Yeah. And what we both love about this, and you pointed it out before I watched it, is the idea that these passengers are stuck on the train, and so there's not really anywhere for them to go or to escape, unlike other zombie movies where there's always ways for them to get out, or there's always routes and open doors for them to get through.
Yeah, it's a very contained zombie film.
They have to basically get as far away from the zombies but while staying on the same train. And the other great thing is these zombies move quickly.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love zombies that move fast. Where did you watch it?
I just watched that at home with Alex.
Okay.
On a projector though, so it was pretty good. But
if you guys have any way to watch it, I really recommend it.
Yeah.
But we saw the sequel, Peninsula, which was
a very different story.
Completely different story. I mean, I had a fun time.
It's set in the same universe. 4 years later, none of the same characters are continued in the sequel.
Which is understandable because if it's something that in the movie it only affected Korea.
Yeah.
Like the virus has been contained and outside of Korea it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So a lot of the survivors from Korea are now as refugees in Hong Kong and other countries. So that kind of actually felt close to home in this 2020 pandemic year. Some of the things kind of like resonated with the situations that we're living in this day. But the movie itself, as enjoyable as it is with a beer and maybe a joint and your friends, it doesn't go beyond that. I think it's quite a forgettable film. With very one-dimensional characters. And
I think where it goes wrong is including the English language, I think.
Yeah.
The moment that there's a big American guy in Hong Kong who sort of allows immigrants to live in his accommodation illegally and then sends them out to go get some money from him from South Korea, sort of, I don't know, it takes away
why was the guy American, or why do we get all the exposition from
it felt like it was
an American news show. Yeah,
It felt like it was funded by an American producer because you also have right at the start, the ship is also run by Americans rather than the Koreans. You know, when they're
I
trying
mean,
to
there
get
might be some American money involved,
Yeah.
and also it could be like a choice from the producers to make the movie more marketable.
that's a good point.
But the dialogues, like, I mean,
well, at the end,
Sang Ho Yun, the director, I think, of both films, his dialogues in English, they don't work.
no.
What was the dialogue of the United Nations soldier at the end? Like, well, instead of saying something like she said something that is like that was way too Shakespearean. It's like nobody talks like that. Like,
And the other thing I didn't like or didn't work for me was a lot of the action sequences or the driving sequences was shot as if it was a video game, and because they couldn't have done those stunts themselves or in reality, and you can tell very clearly it's been programmed to look like a video game. And I did
so much CGI, man.
Yeah.
Like a little bit too much. Well, a lot too much.
It really takes away from the film. Whereas the Train to Busan, I didn't really notice any CGI. I'm sure there was, but it was a lot better. But just reading here, their budget for Peninsula was twice the size. It was 16 million as opposed to 8 million. And
yeah, it's I mean, but still,
yeah,
you know.
But it's made 48 million at the box office.
Oh, that's
what I'm reading.
That's not bad at all, man. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at this guy's IMDb, the director,
He also made-
director Sang Ho Yun.
Yeah.
He has other movies that I would love to watch. After Train to Busan, he made one called Psychokinesis.
Okay.
That looks interesting. I'm definitely gonna look it up because this is a talented director.
We should
that-
also watch Soul Station. Have you seen that? There's another zombie film that he...
Yeah, I think this one is animated.
Yeah, it is.
And this is probably just before Train to Busan.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're connected. It would be interesting to check.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, guys, these are all of our reviews and recommendations for today's show, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe what have we got for the last one?
I'm looking at my show notes, and and I think we've pretty much gone over everything. The last things that I can recommend, if you still don't want to go out to the cinemas, which is fine, it's a personal choice. I personally cannot live without going to the cinema at least once a week. I would say, like, I think Elliot and I agree that we endorse the hygiene and and how they take care of everyone at the Eye, at Rialto, and at Lab 100 Elf.
Yeah.
Those three I completely endorse.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Studio Cast since the pandemic,
No, I haven't.
but I mean, no offense to anyone there, but it's run by students, and students tend to like live. Give
Criterion.
less of a fuck.
Do you mean Criterion? Or Studio K? Also
Oh yeah,
run by
Criterion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I love the cinema. It's super close to my house. I used to go a lot, but I never thought that it was the cleanest one.
No.
So I mean, I'm willing to. I'm not gonna talk bad about it if I haven't been. So I will go, and then I'll tell you my review on the hygiene of the cinema. And
But yeah, what can we watch at home, Kiko?
well, the new season of The Boys is coming out. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay, so The Boys is a show by Amazon Prime, which is now in the Netherlands, and there's like 30 free days right now. So you can use it to binge both seasons.
Okay.
It's a superhero show. Wait. Before you say anything, just wait. So there are superheroes on Earth, and they are basically their public image is run by this company, by this marketing company.
Okay.
And the basically the story is about this guy who works at a whatever electronic shop, and he has a girlfriend. He's super lame. It's based on a comic book, obviously. And while talking to his girlfriend, in front of him, his girlfriend suddenly explodes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's blood everywhere, and then when he turns, there's this guy who's kind of like a mug to the Flash.
Yeah.
He basically ran through her. So she explodes, and he develops this hatred towards the supers, towards all these people. So he meets the Butcher, which is played by what's his name? Anyway, and then they put together like a little gang that kills superheroes.
Okay, that does sound interesting.
Yeah, and
Billy Butcher is played by Carl Urban.
Carl Urban, great as Judge Dredd as well.
Yeah.
So it's a completely new take, and it's taking the piss on Marvel and DC. And here, the villains are the superheroes.
Okay.
And the good guys are these guys, the boys who are murdering them. So it's rated R, so it's bloody and just off the rails, batshit crazy, man. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
What are you watching at home?
So I can plug the Leiden Short Film Festival, which you can watch both physically and in Leiden and online through Vitamin Cinema.
Oh, great.
It's a very experimental festival, very sort of forward thinking, a lot of social activist kind of films, but they're all short films and they're all great to watch and easily accessible. So that starts next weekend. They also have talks and events and everything. So check that out. We'll put a link for that.
Anyway, thanks for listening. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever your casts are pod, or your pods are cast. And also look for the talk version of it where we don't play any music. That's it. That's it for me. Anything you want to add, man?
No. Cheers for listening. We'll catch you soon.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to leave you with this little track here from Mulan, since we've been ranting about it and I was looking for it. Just enjoy. See you around.
This won't cost you $30, don't.
There it is. Thank you, Elliot. Thanks, everyone, for listening. See you soon.